Hello, guys. Welcome back. At this point, you have to start asking some serious questions about what's happening with the Indiana fever. If this is really how things are being handled, then maybe it's time for both sides to move on. Because from the outside looking in, it doesn't feel like Caitlin Clark is being treated like the franchise centerpiece that so many fans believe she is. The decisions, the messaging, and now the public reaction have only added more fuel to the fire. Fans have been paying close attention to Amber Cox, especially after recent wins without Caitlin Clark. Many have pointed out what they believe is a noticeable difference in her public reactions, and those observations have sparked a wave of criticism online. Instead of the conversation slowing down, it has only continued to grow. Then you have Stephanie White, who is also facing questions following reports about the letter from Congress and the growing scrutiny surrounding the organization. Whether you agree with the criticism or not, one thing is clear: this controversy isn't fading away. The Indiana Fever leadership now finds itself under a microscope, and every public appearance, interview, and statement is being analyzed by fans. If Amber Cox and Stephanie White believe this story is simply going to disappear, they're mistaken. People want answers, and they expect accountability. At the end of the day, if the relationship between the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark has reached this point, then perhaps it's time for everyone involved to honestly evaluate the future, because this conversation isn't ending anytime soon. Now, take a look at this. This was Amber Cox on X, formerly Twitter, whichever you prefer to call it. She posted, "Fever fans, we appreciate you. Can't thank you enough for always showing up for us at home and on the road. We hear you and are incredibly grateful for your support." This came after an Indiana Fever win over the Phoenix Mercury. Okay. Then a fan account posted, "Amber Cox is always loud after a win without Caitlin Clark." Now here's where it gets interesting. Amber Cox responded directly to a Caitlin Clark fan account. That's right, the Indiana Fever's chief operating officer and general manager was going back and forth with a Caitlin Clark fan account on social media. Think about that for a second. Shout out to the Caitlin Clark fan account. Amber Cox responded, "Nonsense. You know who is also happy after any win? Cece, because this is a team full of people who celebrate and care for one another. And like all of them, she's a great teammate. We all can't wait to have Caitlin Clark back on the court. Enough with this ridiculous narrative." Well, Amber Cox sounds frustrated. She clearly wasn't happy with the accusations, and she decided to respond publicly instead of ignoring them. That exchange has only added more attention to the conversation surrounding Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever, and the growing debate among fans online. We're watching every move, Amber. We're paying close attention. And honestly, it's not just the fans anymore. Forget what we think for a second. The reality is that people far beyond the basketball world are paying attention now. When members of Congress start sending letters about what's happening around the league, you know the spotlight has become much bigger than anyone expected. You can dismiss the criticism if you want, but people are noticing the patterns. Fans believe they see what's going on, and they're asking tough questions. Many don't feel like Caitlin Clark has received the same level of public support or enthusiasm from Amber Cox and Stephanie White that other players have received. That's why so many people continue to debate the direction of the Indiana Fever. Some fans believe the organization wants to build around Kelsey Mitchell, and if that's truly the plan, then they should simply commit to it and be transparent about it. Make a decision and stand behind it, instead of leaving everyone guessing. Now, let's talk about Stephanie White. She appears frustrated by the attention surrounding the congressional letter. From the outside looking in, it seems like both Stephanie White and Amber Cox would rather avoid the controversy altogether, but the conversation isn't going away anytime soon. Let's hear what Stephanie White had to say regarding the letter from Congress and the concerns surrounding Caitlin Clark and her potential civil rights issues.
Coach, several members of Congress sent a letter this week to Commissioner Engelbert. They said they're concerned about what they called physical hostility and violence toward her. One line in particular said, quote, "Concerning reports suggest that many of these attacks against Caitlin Clark may be racially motivated." What's your reaction to that?
Our team made a statement yesterday, so you can find that statement.
No, I understand that. I just mean as a coach, when you hear one of your players is being mentioned in a letter from members of Congress to the commissioner of the league, how do you handle that?
Again, that's not something we can control. We're not affiliated with those groups, and we try to keep the main thing, and focus on the things that we can control.
She doesn't want to answer it. She refuses to protect Caitlin Clark. You got up there and you had a bunch to say about Alyssa Thomas. You had a bunch to say about Alyssa Thomas. But when it comes to Caitlin Clark, you have nothing to say to protect her? Huh? Oh, when it comes to Alyssa Thomas, this league is all about inclusiveness. This league is about small groups. This league is about everything but basketball. Y'all said this league is about everything but basketball. So why aren't you going on a tangent to defend Caitlin Clark the same way you did for Alyssa Thomas? No, I understand that. I just mean as a coach, when you hear one of your players being mentioned in a letter from Congress to the commissioner of the league, she doesn't want to answer it. She doesn't want anything to do with it, which is why I said it's clear that y'all want nothing to do with these situations regarding Caitlin Clark. They have no interest in protecting her. Y'all don't care. So just get rid of her if you don't want to deal with any of this. Trade her to Los Angeles. Trade her to Toronto. Then you guys can move on. How about that? Us fans can finally get what we want, which is to watch Caitlin Clark play her game, and y'all can get what y'all want. Y'all already became more popular because of her. Everybody has already benefited from her. Now y'all can move on with Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston and play basketball. Good luck to you. Why are we dragging this thing along? Take a look at this on NewsNation. The WNBA is in trouble.
This is quite simple. This is about the future of women's sports. We're trying to get more young women, talented women into professional sports. Young women in my district are aspiring to someday get in the WNBA, and we want to provide a safe place for them to play, no matter their race, no matter their really anything but their ability to play. And Caitlin Clark, it's quite evident, especially recently, that this type of abuse coming from some players in the WNBA has gotten worse. This is the moment where they put a fist on her throat while she is pinned to the court. I think it's unacceptable. I think a fifth grader looking at the video, a compilation of the video that has happened to Caitlin Clark over the last couple of years would readily see that this type of behavior is unacceptable.
Man, this is unbelievable. Kathy Engelbert, I don't know what you're going to do to fix this, but from the outside, it feels like the league is sinking deeper into quicksand. Have you noticed that people aren't talking about the ratings the way they used to? Many fans believe the conversation has changed, and that has raised even more questions about the league's direction. Right now, Kathy Engelbert is facing growing criticism, with many wondering what the next step will be. The uncertainty surrounding the WNBA is becoming increasingly concerning, and critics believe stronger leadership is needed to change the narrative.
Yeah, it's quite a topic, isn't it, these days, Jess? Hello, David. I will just say this. We have to be very careful about how we look at player voting when it comes to the All-Star vote, right? They comprise 25% of the vote, the media 25%, the fans 50%. Now, of a pool of 180 roster players, you've got 85 of them voting, so it's a small sample size. So you have players, for instance, guys that are voting for, hey, my teammate, my buddy, I can vote for my entire roster, the team I play on. But I do think you certainly have a pool of players who take this thing seriously. And while some may not take it seriously, it is a small sample size. You see 11th with Caitlin Clark, and it is insulting. It is preposterous to consider she would be even deemed worthy of or unworthy of being in a conversation of the 11th best guard in the WNBA. And frankly, to further the discourse, to consider the fact that some believe that she's not even worthy of being in the top four or being a starter amongst these all-star players is to me foolishness, because you have to look at the basketball. You have to break down the tape. But it tells me, are you watching the entire game? There's a lot of great players in this league. I could talk to you guys for hours about them. Caitlin Clark is exceptional. She is extraordinary. She is elite. She is incredibly difficult to defend. She plays on extraordinary angles, both with and without the basketball. And she is very unpredictable, I would tell you, defensively. Her ability to consistently hit anywhere from a 25 to a 30-foot jump shot from behind the arc, which is roughly 22 and change, is consistent. And even when she's out there and she's getting all this defensive attention, in her face attention, she still has to use that gather step to create space. and she still makes those shots. And what's really challenging, I would say to you guys from watching it, is she's hard to blitz, she's hard to double team, she's as good a passer as she is a scorer. And so it makes her a menace to defend, and that's why you see a lot of the contact. That's why, frankly, I mean, egos come into play. You ain't getting got by Caitlin Clark when you step in between those lines, and it makes her also very difficult to officiate. So there's a lot of layers to this. This is a damn good basketball player.
I agree 1,000%. Pure foolishness. I couldn't agree more. To me, this situation has raised a lot of questions, and many fans feel the WNBA has handled it poorly. Whether you agree or disagree, the conversation isn't slowing down anytime soon. That's why I want to hear from you. Do you think the league is making the right decisions, or do you believe major changes are needed? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because your opinion matters. If you enjoyed this discussion, make sure to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other basketball fans. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.